You know that feeling, right? That frustrating loop you get stuck in. You ask your child to do something, they nod, they seem to get it, and then, an hour later, nothing. The homework's untouched, the chores are forgotten, and you're just standing there thinking, are they just being lazy, or is something else going on here? Well, let's get into it, because what looks like a simple lack of effort might actually be a total system failure.
And this question, man, it just gets right to the heart of it all. We get so caught up in the result, wanting them to remember or to do the thing, that we completely skip over the most important part. Why is it happening? Let's dig in and figure that out.
For a lot of families, this isn't just a now and then problem. It's the daily grind. It's this pattern that just wears you down, strains relationships, and kind of puts this cloud of tension over everything at home and at school. So let's break down what this battle actually looks and feels like.
Okay, first up, there's the exhaustion. And I'm not talking about the I played soccer all afternoon kind of tired. This is different. It's this deep, constant fatigue that just doesn't make sense. They could sleep for 10 hours and still wake up looking completely drained, with zero energy for even the simplest mental tasks.
And then, oh boy, come the excuses. It's an endless stream, isn't it? I forgot. I didn't get it. I'll do it in a minute. And it feels like they're just trying to get out of it. But a lot of the time, it's actually their brain's honest-to-goodness status report. I literally cannot process another command right now.
And rounding it all out is the irritation. That super short fuse. You ask a simple question, something like, hey, did you finish your math homework? And bam, you get this huge, frustrated, angry response. It's a massive red flag that their brain's inbox is full and overflowing.
So you look at all this together, the exhaustion, the excuses, the irritation, and it's so easy to land on one word, laziness, right? It seems like a lack of discipline, a choice not to try. It's the diagnosis we all jump to. But is it the right one? So let's just pause for a second and try on a totally different idea. What if these behaviors, what if they aren't character flaws at all? What if they're actually signals, error messages about a much deeper, more technical problem that's happening inside the brain?
The short answer? No, it's not laziness. It's a condition that we're really just starting to understand properly, and it's called brain overload. Basically, brain overload is a massive cognitive traffic jam. Think about it. The brain is getting hit with information all day long, from teachers, from parents, from screens. When there's too much coming in and no good system to sort it all out, the whole thing just gets overwhelmed. It just stops working the way it's supposed to.
Now, to really wrap your head around this, we have to throw out an old idea we've had about how a kid's brain works. For forever, we've pictured it as a sponge. But that metaphor, it's just plain wrong, and frankly, it's not helpful.
And this is such a game-changing way to look at it. A sponge is passive, right? It just sits there and soaks up whatever you pour on it until it's full. But a processor is an active system. It's constantly working, sorting, filing, connecting dots. A sponge doesn't crash, but a computer processor, you bet it can overheat and shut right down if you give it way too much to do without the right software to handle it.
And this is the absolute core of the problem. Schools are amazing at providing the data, the facts, the dates, the formulas, but what they often forget to provide is the algorithm, the mental software, the actual how-to guide for processing all that information. How do you organize it? How do you decide what's important? How do you find it again later?
So once you start thinking with this processor model, the child's behavior suddenly starts to make a whole lot more sense. What we've been calling laziness, it's not that at all. It's the system sending out blinking red error messages.
This just changes everything, doesn't it? It's not a moral failure, it's a technical one. We've given this kid a supercomputer for a brain and a mountain of tasks to do with it, but we totally forgot to include the user manual. Of course it's going to malfunction.
So here's the chain reaction. You've got constant input all day long. Without a good system to manage it, the brain's processor works harder and harder, getting hotter and hotter, until it just hits its limit. And then, poof, the whole system just crashes.
So now we can go back and translate those signals. He listens but doesn't remember? That's just an input failing to save. He reads the page but doesn't get it? The processor isn't converting the data into meaning. And when he says he's tired, that's not about sleep. That's the system going into low power mode to keep from frying completely.
So what do we do with all this? Well, just recognizing the real problem is the huge first step. It lets us move away from judging them and toward a plan that might actually, work. It's about shifting from being a critic to being tech support.
And that is the real bottom line. Trying to fix laziness by nagging or punishing is like yelling at the error message on your frozen computer. It does absolutely nothing. The real work is in fixing the root cause, giving them the mental tools, that algorithm, to manage the flood of data coming at them every single day.
If there is one thought that you take away from all this, let it be this one. The next time you see that exhausted, glassy-eyed look, remember this. It's not a lack of willpower, it's a system crash, and just shifting your language like that can totally change your whole approach, from one of criticism to one of help.
And in the end, that's the choice we have to make, isn't it? We can keep getting angry and frustrated at the symptoms, or we can look under the hood and start actually fixing the system. And that could mean teaching simple ways to get organized, or breaking down big tasks into tiny steps, or even just recognizing when it's time to log off and reboot. The choice isn't just about understanding your child better, it's about giving them a fighting chance to succeed in a world that's only going to get noisier.